Be clown.
And I always loved music, and I always listened to the message in music, not just the music itself. It kind of just take you somewhere on a journey. I'm Jason Sloan. I've been a luthier for 11 years, and this is Southern as heck. I'm originally from Thomasville, Georgia. It was a small town. It's the county seat of Thomas County. Heavily farming influenced, of course, and a lot of old plantations. It's got a really good, rich history to it. As long as I can remember, I always enjoyed music. Growing up, Mom and Dad had the records. Mom was into Motown, Beatles. Dad was into classic rock, the Eagles and CCR and Bob Seger. And so I remember those albums being played as a kid on the old record player. They always sounded so good. Getting into music as a teenager, I had friends in school that played guitar and drums and had bands. I was more of a skateboarder. It was after I was out of high school, probably maybe a year before I got to playing guitar. And some friends of mine down the road wanted to put a little band together, and I knew maybe 2 chords, but they insisted, let's do this, and we did. And from there, I was like, well, man, all these songs that I always enjoyed listening to, I want to go back and try to learn. When I got into playing music again, with those songs, I had heard them so many times. They were just always in my head. And it seemed like it was a little easier to learn them too, because they had just been played so much and I'd heard them so many times. Really far as playing an instrument, maybe 19, 20 years old, right in there. I've always enjoyed repairing and building just your basic handyman stuff. I knew the basics. I have done construction work on the side as a kid, coming up, construction jobs, been around it. I think that tied into when I went for the first time and went to a luthier's shop, picked out the wood, and it mesmerized me in a way that, I was about to have an instrument that was going to be built from the ground up. I was always interested, but I don't think I had the time with the work that I did and the place I was at that time in my life. But I know now, looking back on it, that's really what started the interest for me. A lot to learn through books, videos, and other luthiers that's willing to tell me stuff, and share secrets with it. But it was going to be an undertaking that was going to take a while. It wasn't an overnight thing, and I knew that going into it, really. I had some other mandolin builders that I could call on. Ron Cole in Filer, Idaho, and James Winky Hicks in Grove Hill, Alabama. Barry Kratzer out of Savannah, just outside of Savannah, Georgia, Bloomington. So my very first one was with James Winky Hicks. Everybody calls him Winky. He is quite a card of a guy to meet. I gave him a call. I was in South Georgia at this time, living in South Georgia, so he was a good 4.5 hours away. We had a great conversation. He said, right up. So I took a chance and rode all that way and spent the day with him in his shop, picked out the woods, and decided right then to go ahead and have me a mandolin built. And within a month or two, he called me and it was ready, and I rode up there to get it. And within a couple of weeks later, I called him back and asked him if he would build me a couple of more. There were guys in my area in South Georgia that was interested in some mandolins too, so he did that as well. So I was able to call on him when I got into building for certain questions. And it was really cool because all of these people I had already had, a connection with, either buying something from them or having them work on my stuff. And so when I reached out, I wasn't just some guy that they didn't know, and they were willing to talk to me and share things with me. But again, it was mostly the books, the videos, the forums, and reading about it, and over and over, just diving into it with all you had to just study it, and knowing then it was going to take time. Even my first mandolin, I messed up a couple of tops and had to throw them away. It was a year and about a half, I want to say, when I got the book, How to Build a Mandolin, and started collecting machinery till when I strung that thing up and it was finished. Let's go back to about a year and a half ago and back. I would work in the shop at night and weekends when I got in from work. And through those years, I was doing construction. I had my own construction business. basically a handyman and license doing tile, building decks, fences, remodels, things like that. And coming in the evenings knowing that, you got instruments waiting on you, and if you're going to make this work and get to the place you want to get to one day, you're going to have to go home, grab some dinner, freshen up just a bit, get in the shop. And you may be in there tonight till 8 o'clock, you may be in there tomorrow night till 11 o'clock to stay on top of things. And it's weekends too, a lot of times. Every year got better, first of all. And this last year has been the best year. Since Martin Guitar come along and certified me for this district that I'm in, finally getting this shop built so I can have some room to do what I need to do. And there's new things this year that we're planning on doing with other instruments I hadn't got my hands on yet. Looking forward to it. Just to see them smile and get it back playing condition. The memories that they share with you. Sometimes it's their mothers or their grandmothers, grandfather's instrument that they wasn't sure if it could be put back together. And that's very fulfilling, I would say, absolutely. I love the variety of what I do and the fulfillment with the clientele and the relationships with them. When we share stories in here, and sometimes it goes from one story to the other, and it just makes for a good environment. I have to be careful and stay on a good work schedule with it, or I'll go to telling stories for too long.